If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like and subscribe. Candy, released internationally as Candy: A Death in Texas, is an American biographical drama television miniseries created by Nick Antosca and Robin Veith. The series stars Jessica Biel as the real-life Candy Montgomery, who is accused of the axe murder of her neighbour, Betty Gore, played here by Melanie Lynskey, in 1980 in Texas. It premiered on May 9, 2022 on Hulu, with a new episode for 5 nights until May 13th. Set in Wiley, Texas in 1980, a suburban housewife, Candy Montgomery, is accused of murdering her neighbour, Betty Gore, after having an affair with Gore's husband, Alan. In July 2020, it was announced UCP was developing a series revolving around Candy Montgomery, with Robin Veith writing the pilot for the series, and Nick Antosca set to executive produce under his Eat the Cat banner with no network attached. In December 2020, it was announced Hulu had landed the series. In October 2021, it was announced that Elizabeth Moss was originally set to star as Candy, had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts, and will be replaced by Jessica Biel. Candy Montgomery's case also serves as the inspiration for the HBO event series Love and Death, which stars Elizabeth Olsen as Candy and Lily Rabe as Betty Gore. Both Jessica Biel and Melanie Lynskey's husbands have roles in the series. Justin Timberlake and Jason Ritter play police officers. Candy Montgomery mentions going to the Plano Target several times throughout the series. Though this may seem anachronistic, the first Target store in Plano, Texas, one town over from the setting of Wiley, Texas, opened in 1976 at 120 W. Parker Road. Since the series is set in 1980, it is very likely the real Candy Montgomery shopped at the Plano Target. This film appears to be a dramatization of the same true crime incident depicted in A Killing in a Small Town in 1990. Elizabeth Olsen did confirm in an interview with Extra that Jessica Biel did reach out to her about them both filming the shows about the same true crime. Elizabeth did think it was sweet of Jessica to reach out, as they'd never met in real life. This is Melanie Lynskey's second foray into work based on true crime. Her first film, Heavenly Creatures, was about the notorious Parker Home murder in 1954. Just a little bit about the real Candace Lynn Montgomery. She's an American woman who was accused of killing her lover's wife, Betty Gore. The killing took place in Wiley, Texas on June 13, 1980. During the assault, Gore was struck 41 times with a wood-splitting axe. Montgomery pled not guilty to charges of murder on the basis of self-defense, alleging that Gore confronted her about an affair she had had with Gore's husband and attacked her with the axe. She was later acquitted. On the day of Gore's killing, Alan Gore was out of town. When he was unable to reach his wife via telephone, he requested that their neighbors go to investigate. After forcing their way into the family residence, they discovered Gore's body. Her daughter, Bethany, who had been sleeping in her crib in the other room at the time of the incident, was awake, crying, covered in her own feces, after being left for 13 hours unattended. Candy Montgomery was represented by civil law attorney Don Crowder and defense attorney Robert Ushiden. The trial lasted just 8 days, with Montgomery pleading self-defense, alleging that she had defended herself after being attacked by Gore following a confrontation about Montgomery's affair with her husband. She stated that she was compelled to use an axe after Gore attempted to strike her moments before with the same weapon. Montgomery underwent a polygraph test prior to trial, which indicated that she was being truthful. District Attorney Tom O'Connell argued that Montgomery could have fled the scene instead of attacking Gore. He also argued that attacking somebody 41 times was disappropriate. Montgomery was subsequently found not guilty on October 30th, 1980, by a jury consisting of 9 women and 3 men. Now look, this is truly a fascinating case. It is also terribly sad, perplexing, and just downright horrific what happened here. The murder of Betty Gore is truly a tragic event. Whether, as was argued in the defense case, that it was truly self-defense on Candace Montgomery's part, or whether Candace went there to attack and kill Betty Gore, well, no one will ever know, as there's only 2 people who could tell you what really happened, and one of them is dead, and the other was found not guilty. This show will leave you with a sour aftertaste. At the end of the day, it's a horrific story about 2 women in a small town that got emotionally entangled with each other after Candace Montgomery had an affair with Betty Gore's husband, which led to this most violent of events. The performances in the show Candy are absolutely terrific, and the attention to detail of the 1970s aesthetic through the costumes and sets really sort of takes you back in time. Biel is absolutely mesmerizing here as Candy Montgomery. She plays her as a sort of over-eager housewife, a busybody if you will, who wants to have an affair as she's bored at home with her husband and just wants to spice up her life. This of course leads to her interaction with the completely contrasting Betty Gore, played here by the phenomenal Melanie Lynskey. Lynskey is an actress that truly cannot put a foot wrong, and she turns out another stunning performance here as the insecure and misunderstood Betty Gore. These two are completely opposite personalities, and eventually they are bound to clash. Of course, no one expects it to be in such a violent and awful manner. The show is very slow-paced and probably could have been done in 3 episodes, but nonetheless, it sort of adds to the tension and drama as you wait and see exactly what happened on that fateful day. Whether you believe Candy did this on purpose or it was self-defense, well, that's up to you to decide, but the show kind of blames her in some ways, especially at the end, which I didn't quite like, where they have the ghost form, if you will, of Melanie Lynskey standing in the court, judging her, saying, "Is that it? Is that how this case ends?" I felt the show should have left it more open to interpretation, and the series definitely portrays Candy Montgomery as much more of a psychopath than a woman trying to save her own life. It's interesting that the show starts with Betty Gore's death, followed by the reconstitution of what occurred between the characters in the later episodes. And the show manages to keep a sense of tension throughout without really revealing what happened on that fateful day. This is a satisfactory true crime drama. The performances of the actors are excellent, although the show, like I said, can be a bit slow at times and a bit tedious, and maybe could have got to the point slightly quicker. In saying that, though, this is truly a fascinating story, albeit a tragic one. And the performances here, particularly from Jessica Biel, Melanie Lynskey, as well as solid performances from Pablo Schreiber as Alan Gore and Timothy Simons as Pat Montgomery, and a fun little cameo from Justin Timberlake as Deputy Steve in Veith.The, just add a bit of gravitas to this already well-made show. With its fascinating, yet uniquely tragic story, superb acting performances from all the cast, but in particular from Jessica Biel, Candy is a show that will certainly not leave your mind anytime soon. Candy gets an 8.5 out of 10.